Hello and welcome to the summary of Act 3 of Fiela. 7 years have gone by. Lucas is now 19, Nina is 17. The bush guard has found a job for Nina in the town as a babysitter, and Lucas is taking her to drop her off at the road where the bush guard will take her further. Nina is not happy about having to leave the bush at all, and although Lucas tries to cheer her up, she stays angry and doesn't appreciate his efforts. She makes Lucas promise to protect her from their father if she ends up running away. Which she does. When Christoffel, their brother, goes to fetch the money that the employers are paying her, they find out that she'd left a month ago. Her ex-employers just assumed she'd gone back to the bush. Lucas has now been tasked with the task to go looking for her. While searching, Lucas sees a crowd of people running to see a ghost ship at Nutsi. Lucas decides that he might as well go check out this ghost ship. After all, it won't make a difference if it takes one day longer to find Nina. Lucas hangs back and waits for the crowd of people to disperse until there's only one person left. This person is Field Cornet Armstrong, who's been tasked with keeping an eye on the ship until the morning, when the customs men will take over. Lucas's search continues and leads him to Miss Weatherbury. He heard from someone in the town that Nina was working for her. She's surprised that Nina has any siblings. Miss Weatherbury gave Nina work for two reasons. One, she needed help around the house, and two, she thought Nina ought to learn some proper manners. Miss Weatherbury won't allow the Van Rooyens to collect Nina's wages, and Lucas agrees that it actually isn't right for them to do that. When Nina arrives, Lucas asks a favour from her. He asks her to go back to the bush and tell their father that he isn't going back to the bush either. In Scene 2, we are introduced to Khalil September. Lucas is looking for someone to teach him how to row, because John Ben, the man in charge of the tugboats, said he'd hire him if he knew how to row. Khalil doesn't want to teach Lucas how to row because he feels like his own employment by John Ben might then be under threat. But he does agree to give Lucas accommodation and food if he does some odd jobs for him. A while later, Nina comes to meet up with Lucas and hugs him. To quote what happens to Lucas, "Her body was against mine and I felt mine giving answer." Yeah. Lucas pushes Nina away and the conversation continues as per usual. Nina says that she ended up staying in the bush a while longer than she had first planned, but things aren't the same anymore. Her harmonica's rusted and her bottles are dirty. Perhaps she won't go back to the bush again either. But Nina also has a message for Lucas from someone in the Longekloof that was looking for Benjamin Kamuti. The news was that David Kamuti, Fiela's eldest son, had passed away. At that news, Lucas immediately decides to go back to the Longekloof for a while. Nina is worried about Lucas returning, but he is adamant to do so. Cut to Fiela in the Longekloof. She's shouting at Selung that he needs to walk more because his doctor said that if he doesn't, his legs will give in. It's then that she sees Lucas approaching. He's not her little Benjamin anymore. He's all grown up. Despite that, they still have a touching reunion and the family celebrates that night. For the next while, Selung teaches Lucas how to row. The reason Selung knows how to row is because he grew up next to the Olifant River. A few months go by, but something is still bothering Lucas. He goes and talks to Fiela about it. He's still confused as to who he is. But he says that when he came back to the Longekloof, he realized that he still felt like Benjamin Kamuti. Fiela tells Lucas that she bought some land for him and that she is going to give it to him, but Lucas can't accept it. Fiela insists. Her other son grew up to become a drunk, and she's already putting money aside for her two daughters. The land that she bought is for Lucas. Lucas accepts it. He has one confession for Fiela. He has fallen in love with Nina. At this point, Fiela knows that Benjamin is definitely not a Van Rooyen, because otherwise he wouldn't have fallen in love with her. But there is only one person that can confirm this: Bartha Van Rooyen. Lucas returns to the Van Rooyens to find that they're struggling. Elias finally got trampled by the elephants and he insisted on hunting and is now crippled. Because of this, Willem had to go chop wood in a further away forest and there are too few hands around the house. Lucas isn't concerned by these things though. He wants Bartha to tell him whether or not he's their son. She tries to avoid the question at first, but after some pressuring swears to Lucas that he's her son. After this, Lucas goes back to the sea for a while. Nina visits him often. Eventually, Lucas is too afraid of his feelings for her and asks her to visit him less often. At that, Nina suddenly, very suddenly, becomes very angry at him and storms off. Lucas is now more lost than he's ever been. Lucas goes back to the bush again. Elias is in a better state, but if you listen to him, you wouldn't think so. The man goes on with his whole woe is me story, saying how he'll never properly recover and he must just accept his life will now only consist of sitting around. Tragic. He now has a new plan. He's going to put his sons to work to earn money, so then they can afford a gun and he'll teach them how to shoot, so they can go hunting elephants. Original. While he's ranting, Barta starts having a panic attack, and Lucas has to shut him up so they can tend to her. Then Barta confesses that the boy she picked wasn't Lucas van Rooyen. Lucas van Rooyen is once again Benjamin Kamuti. Before she was sent into the court to pick the boy, the censusman whispered in her ear which one to pick. At that, Benjamin gets up and leaves, angry and distraught. At the Longer Kloof, the Kamutis are composing a letter for Benjamin. Fiela started off by saying a bunch of motivational stuff about getting up once you've been kicked down. Once she's done, it's Seling's turn. He just wants to tell Benjamin about the ostrich chicks that were sold to a man who's going to take them to Australia, and how he finds it funny that they're going to have ostriches on a ship. Fiela closes the letter by sending her regards to Nina. The play ends with Benjamin going to tell Mr. Ben what his new name is before heading off to find Nina. Mr. Ben smiles and the curtain closes. That's the end of Fiela Second. I'm not particularly sure why Benjamin went to Mr. Ben of all people at the end of the book. I suppose maybe in the actual book they had a closer relationship. But at that, there's just one small thing that I should mention. Benjamin and Lucas are the same character. But sometimes in the exam they only want one or the other name, but it's always a safe bet to just write Benjamin/Lucas in the exams. And at that, I just want to say thank you to everybody who watched these videos, and also thank you to the people who watched the Siedelman videos. These are probably my last Afrikaans summary videos I've ever making, if Matric goes to plan. So at that, I shall bid you all farewell and the best of luck for your exams. Goodbye.